the Squatchers Lounge podcast. We invite our friend and man about all things Bigfoot, Mad Knapp, to the show. This should be a real fun topic. Paid Bigfoot expeditions. Are they worth it? What are the costs? Is there something to gain? Or should you just go out with your buddies? Because being led into the woods by a complete stranger just doesn't seem like that great an idea. Is that just me? And now it's time for me to introduce the host of this show, the Reverend Jeff Kelly.
Welcome to the show, everybody. I am indeed your host, the Reverend Jeff Kelly. Along with me as my sidekick every week is the greatest announcer man in Squatchers Lounge podcast history, that is, Mr. David Father Batdorf. How you doing, sir?
Good. That's just an amazing graphic. Where did you pull that image from, man? That's just amazing.
That's actually a frame from the Bigfoot Wars upcoming movie.
Nice.
Is where I snatched that off of. So I thought it appropriate for the show tonight, because with us, as we do have from time to time, is the host of the new show Bigfoot Revolutions, Mr. Matt. I hate you all. You all need to go to hell. Knapp. How you doing, buddy?
I hate you, Jeff.
I know, and that's okay, because that's your job. Guys, we just got done listening to Bigfoot North for week number 6 now, I think this was, or 5. I'm not sure which. It's definitely longer than a month, and
it's kind of like a marriage.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, but I think we've finally got it figured out. They're not doing anything differently than we're doing here on the Squatchers Lounge podcast, only they're doing it badly. It's basically just going to be another Bigfoot radio show. It stars, Todd, I'm a Hoaxer Standing, and Dr. Meldrum, and apparently a cast of tunes that they've got lined up with, promises of cash in their pocket. And tonight's guest was Mike Rugg, who we like. I mean, I really like Mike Rugg, the curator of the Bigfoot Discovery Museum down here in Felton, California. What did we take away from tonight's episode, David?
Well, like everyone else, I love Mike Rugg. I mean, he's just like, hey, if you crossed a teddy bear with Santa Claus and put him in squatching gear, that's what you got with Mike Rugg. And he's an intelligent guy. He really is. And I don't know, like, just his stories about remembering, when like the whole Bigfoot community came online, and like, seeing that there were websites and web support. Because I mean, he's been doing this for longer than, prior to the Patterson-Gimlin film, unlike a lot of us that are all, newbies, probably in his eyes. But one of the other things, and I wish they would have delved into it, they kind of broke for a commercial, was talking about like certain publications that came out, like some books on Roswell and things, when he saw the Bigfoot and UFO thing coming together, which he actually looked into the UFO thing, but I don't think he's still not interested in putting the two together, but interested in the things separately, which, I can understand that. But once you take one fringe and mash it into another fringe, and now I'm just like, ah.
Yeah, that was definitely well, and that's what he found about it too, was the fact that the deeper he got into the UFO connection, the less he wanted to look into it, because it was just so confounded and amazing that the fluffy, happy forest creature of the animal that is Bigfoot is by far so much more interesting than the wild accusations that are out there. And that's one of the reasons that we go on expeditions and we go out into the woods and we put ourselves in locations that are known to keep these types of animals in the hopes of we encountering one. Not that we had hoped to see a UFO flying over and landing and a Bigfoot getting out of it. Now, I joke because I used to tell my friends that would give me that hassle. Oh, you go out there Bigfoot hunting. Ha, ha, ha. You're never going to find anything. Why don't you ever find anything? Why don't we find bones? Blah, blah, blah. I said, well, it's plain and simple. Haven't you seen Star Wars? The reason we don't find any bones or Sasquatch is because when he's done, he gets back in his UFO and he flies home. And a lot of them, though, that really kind of put a thought in their head for a moment, like, well, what if that's true?
What if that's true? Yeah.
Now,
mystery solved.
Exactly. Now, what are your thoughts on? I mean, Matt joined us for the beginning of the show tonight. What were your thoughts on the Bigfoot North experience this evening?
I thought it was interesting because they brought in someone that's not directly tied to their little project, and I feel that Mike Rugg kind of adds a bit of more Bigfooter credibility to what they're doing.
And that's what Todd Standing's been doing all along, is attaching himself with lack of credibility and lack of authentic evidence to people who have credibility in it. And I just don't. I mean, Mike will do an interview with anybody. I could just call him up down there at the museum and say, "Hey, I got a radio show. I'd like you to do a Bigfoot interview on. Will you do it?" And he'll say, "Yeah, sure," because it gets him exposure for the museum, who doesn't see a whole lot of visitors this time of year and a whole lot of donations. And this is the time of year that it's hard to keep the place open. So, I understand why Mike would do it. It's a radio show. Why not? It's the bigger guys that just aren't making it any sense whatsoever. I mean, this whole Todd Standing's proven that he didn't fake that Bigfoot picture, so it's got to be real, is just crap. I'm sorry. Everybody, if you're not really up to date on the whole background of that picture, maybe Matt here will be able to clue us in a little bit. What's the status of the original non-blinky picture?
Well, the non-blinky, the Eskimo pie picture, or whatever you want to call it, there was some debate going on about it being, photoshopped, which it clearly is. You can see where branches were removed from in front of its face and everything. And Todd's defense against that was, well, somebody had done that anonymously and just sent me the photo, and I've been using it. And, of course, nobody wanted to believe that story. Well, then this past week, I mean, this information was already out there because Todd Standing's been doing this a long time.
I remember seeing it a couple of years ago.
Right.
This whole
but,
debate.
Because it's new and fresh and everything, Todd actually reached out to Sean Evidence and sent him a link to an older forum where this person that goes by the name Alexander Putney had admitted to doing this and posted it on the forum, thus proving that Todd was telling the truth, that a third party had done it on their own and sent him the photograph.
Now, this is the same Todd Standing who put the DMCA claim of unauthorized copyright use against the Para Breakdown channel on YouTube, correct?
Yes, but see, that's the beautiful thing about the Bigfoot world, is it's only copyright infringement if you're not agreeing with what they're saying.
Right, exactly. It's not copyright infringement to begin with. It's just you click that link because you're a douchebag and you had no right to do it in the first place. And I think Phil has like 72 hours. He gets that letter back, or that gets that video back.
Yeah, the video's actually back up now.
Oh, awesome! There you go. So Todd Standing lost. He can't file a copyright claim against it now on YouTube. Phil owns it, thumbed his nose at him, and was vindicated again. So congratulations to Phil, who stands up for his First Amendment right of free speech once again. Congrats.
And I posted that article on Bigfoot Evidence, and granted, we did a little bit of title baiting. Everybody does it. But all it did was prove that somebody else photoshopped the photo. It doesn't prove that the Bigfoot's real or authentic or anything like that.
It doesn't make the Bigfoot any more real.
No.
It just makes the situation a little different that he didn't fake that particular picture. However, I was doing some research today for a side project, the Real Bigfoot Encounters that I actually do on youtube.com/Bigfoot Evidence. I always had this question in my mind and never really put two and two together until today. During the Finding Bigfoot expedition there that Todd Standing had the fellas up there and said he couldn't take them to the Sylvanic Valley because it was 3 days of belly crawling in a ghillie suit to get there and it was too dangerous to do such. Did he do that with a tripod and an HD video camera and a DSLR camera on his back?
Apparently.
Yes. Well, no, he had it airdropped in, actually, because he couldn't airdrop himself in because that would have scared off the Bigfoots. Wait, how do you get the camera in there?
Yeah, but that's that becomes the question. You got all this great high caliber equipment that you're taking these HD camera footage with, but how did you get it there, Todd? If you had to belly crawl in a ghillie suit, that doesn't really leave you a whole lot of room to be packing in a giant pack and a tripod and everything else, because the video that was taken was definitely taken from the top of a tripod.
Face painted, full on ghillie suit, like with a bright orange backpack on his back, full of camera gear. That's how he got in there.
Well, that's what I'm trying to imagine. So, the fact that he didn't make the alterations or the Photoshop changes to that picture doesn't make it any less of a hoaxed picture. It just means that those particular parts that are the hoax weren't done by him, but he freely used it as the face of a live, real Bigfoot in all of his advertisements for the Sylvanic Project. And that was the other thing we noticed tonight, was that project has now basically been rebranded as Bigfoot North. So when you have a shitty product and you can't sell it because it's a crap hoax to begin with, what do? You just rebrand it, get some credibility, and try again.
This whole shit sandwich thing isn't working out. How about Brown Witch?
Right. Maybe that'll make people want to order it off of the menu. What are you thinking, Matt?
Poop pita.
Pita, there you go. Pita on a bread. Flat bread full of crap. There you go. Crap on flat bread.
It's true. I mean, that's a key point in marketing. And Todd Standing does know a little bit about marketing, apparently. But, like, all you have to do is slap all new or, never done before on something, and people will start buying it again.
On TV doesn't mean, I was seen on TV once on the episode of Cops. Does that mean I can slap as seen on TV on every episode of the Squatchers Nods podcast I do? And no, by the way, I was not the one in silver bracelets going to jail. Thank you very much. That's what it comes down to, is what are we being fed here? I mean, are we being fed a Carnival Act? Are we being fed the bait and switch? Is this a 3-card Monty? Look over here. We got really great groundbreaking evidence that Todd Standing has, but you're never going to see it because we can't ever release it. Come listen to our radio show and make us money off of advertisements.
Yeah. So basically, we have this kind of what do you call it? Like a roadside show, like a medicine caller, come all, like see the freak show, but you don't ever get to see the freak show,
right?
And he hasn't even offered us to take a peek for $5 yet. So I'm not sure what the deal is yet. He's got all this definitive DNA and all this other evidence that's not something that's apparently distributable. Like you can't show it to people. So maybe you should start over and try again, and just say that you're doing a radio show.
Right. Don't bait us in
for fun and entertainment.
Right. Don't bait us in with groundbreaking evidence from the Sylvanic Project on Bigfoot North, and then give us a Bigfoot radio show like every other Bigfoot radio show that is out there. I'm sorry, you've got nothing. I got news for everybody. Next week we won't be on Wednesday night. Next week we'll be on Friday night. You know why? Because I'll be out on expedition for 3 days from Tuesday through Thursday next week. That's a whole lot more information than you're ever going to receive from Bigfoot North in the next 4 weeks, I promise.
Well, that's what he's been doing since the beginning. I mean, he went on Coast to Coast AM and did the same thing. Every time they'd ask him a question, he would just ignore the question and keep talking about what wonderful things he did and what beautiful things he was getting ready to release, and ask if he could come back on the show again, and just self-promoted. And that's what he's still doing, except now he has other people helping him promote himself.
And, what are they getting out of it? Where's the benefit in it for them? Mike Rugg, like I said, we understand the benefit for Mike. He got a lot of, well, I don't exactly know what their numbers are. I'd sure be interesting to see what their demographics come out to be for the number of listeners that they have per week. I can tell you this, the Sylvanic Corporation's YouTube channels has not gone viral. I mean, it's got very few views on it to begin with. So if they were hoping to prey upon the public, voices like ours and voices like yours, Matt, on Bigfoot Revolutions, and voices that are out in the public, to make them aware that, hey, just pay attention to what you're looking at here. Maybe you're being fed a big line of crap.
I'm always just ask for more. Don't just take the line of crap. Just ask for more and say, okay, well, that's great. I'll wait for you to show me what you have. And yeah. But so of course he does that by giving us these HD photos, and we're like, yeah, I don't know, not loving it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but the other day, Les Stroud announced that his son has leukemia.
Oh, well, that's a shame.
Recently diagnosed and had started his chemotherapy. Well, as we all know, Les Stroud is the Hollywood Square for Bigfoot North, and
Right.
we know he's going to put his family before anything,
As he should.
right? So Todd, might have to change his game plan up a little bit.
Oh, well, the next thing you'll see, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about tonight, is paid expeditions into the Sylvanic projects.
Ding, 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 ding.
friggin' areas to have your own Bigfoot experience for just a low cost of $11,599. You too can be with the forest people in Todd Standing's land of Bigfoot North. I'm just making up a number. I don't really know what it's going to be, but that's what's next, people. So let's go ahead and get into it tonight, guys. Let's go ahead and talk about the one thing we wanted to talk about tonight, and let's get past all this negativity tonight. We're going to talk about...
And now for tonight's topic.
Yeah, it's still all new. We're trying to get it all worked out, the bugs, but it's working better than it did last week.
Yeah, hey.
That's for sure. Yeah, tonight we're talking about, the big Bigfoot expeditions, the paid public expeditions, what you do on them, what they're about, who they're for, and, is it really worth it to you? And, to me, some of those answers are questions, some of the answers to those questions are going to be yes, and some of them are going to be no. Now, have either one of you guys actually been out on a paid expedition?
No.
No, I've been to conferences and some other get-togethers and some small just Bigfooter get-togethers up here. But yeah, I've been to the hopsquatches. We did that thing on air, but never on a paid expedition.
Now you went up to the summit last year. What you went to the Washington State? What was that? The Squatch Summit?
I actually didn't make it to the summit. It was actually a couple years ago. I went to the conference on primal people in Eastern Washington.
Oh, that's
and hung out with Guy Edwards and Rosa Hebe and a bunch of other folks.
What was the cost of that summit that you went to? Do you remember?
Oh shoot! The actual, not including the hotel room because it was at a hotel. It was like $35 or $40 a person.
Wow. Okay, so we're talking like the whole weekend events was like $35 or $40 a person.
Yeah, and they fed us. It was pretty good.
Wow, dude, that's
Yeah.
I don't know how people make money on that. That doesn't make any sense.
The Bigfoot conference I went to down in Texas was like $25 a head, and that included one meal. But I got to sit next to John Bindernagel for that meal, so...
There you go.
Pretty awesome.
That was definitely worth it. Now, just here this past, this past weekend before, was the Ohio Bigfoot Conference. Did anybody actually get a cost on what that conference actually ran this year?
I'm not sure what the general admission cost was. I know they sold out of tickets far in advance. I want to say it's usually around the $30 or $40 mark, though. Now that could be completely wrong, but it seems like in the past that's what it's been.
Those are the types of things that I went to the Paracon here at the USS Hornet put on by the Alameda Paranormal Society as Bigfoot's representative, and I think it was $65 for the whole thing, and again they fed you lunch, and it was a good time. And then there were different levels, like they stayed overnight, so it ended up being like $125 overnight, and that was you were staying in the World War II historic haunted friggin' ship, and that ship's haunted. I tell you, I saw something while I was there that made me think, I need to come back and look at something like this. Anyhow, for $125 you got like 3 meals, 2 ghost hunts, a UFO hunt. The value seemed to be there for the time that you actually had on the ship. The conference stuff is the type of enjoyable things, the places that you're going to get to meet celebrities, get autographs, hear different encounter stories, hear why people are into the research, what evidence is actually out there. Those things seem to be worth it to me. I wanted to get your guys' opinions on the summits. David?
Well, and just we got to throw out there too the Portland hopsquatch. $5.
Yeah, $5.
And I've had a lot of fun and met a lot of cool, I just hanging out with Tyler Bounds and Derek Randalls and met Redmond Mullis for the first time, and of course the great Guy Edwards, always Tom Powell, Shane Corson, like it's just, like all these people. That's what those scenarios are about for me. Like, you listen to a speaker, it's interesting, it's intriguing, you get to hear a story, but it's about meeting, like, not only just like the online people that but meeting everyone and kind of, like that sense of community. And that's something that I think you could get on a paid expedition, and just going out and just like hanging out with folks, like,
right. And
proper.
that was the thing that I had been looking into this week. What are these paid expeditions and where do they come from? Well, originally, it all started with Matt Moneymaker and the VFRO, the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization. You basically bought a membership and then you paid into the collective to go on Bigfoot expeditions, and then it grew into a business from there to where the BFRO basically hosted public expeditions for Bigfooters to come and help them investigate sighting locations and different areas that the BFRO was interested in. Originally, from what I remember, it was like $75 to be part of the group. And, what did that get you? Access to the Bigfoot location?
$75 to be part of what group?
$75 to be on the expedition. So it was like a buy-in.
No.
No, back in the originals. Back when they were doing member-only expeditions, the members were pulling in the $75 into the pools, and then it went public.
Oh, yes, but not the public expeditions.
No. Now, what were the public expedition costs?
The public expeditions originally started around $800 a head.
$800 a head. Now, that was when they went to the whole we'll teach you stuff about Bigfoot too, though, right? That's when they went to the we'll teach you track casting and how to track animals and that kind of stuff?
I don't know if they ever did that or not.
No, I don't believe that the BFR expeditions ever did. I
believe it's always been you provide everything. You provide your own equipment, your own food, your travel expenses, camping supplies, everything, and we'll let you hang out with us in the woods
while they do their thing.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the attraction to that other than the celebrity sycophant illness virus. Is that what it is? Or is it that they want to get close to the professional Bigfooters to learn their tactics to maybe help get their personal squatching on a better par with others?
Some of it. I think some of it is kind of eccentric people who have the money to blow and they just want to go on a Bigfoot expedition. I know the Finding Bigfoot Facebook guys. That's how they came into the Bigfoot world. Erickson from the Erickson Project, that's how he came into the Bigfoot world, was both through BFRO paid expeditions.
David, you've got a comment?
Well, yeah, a lot of people came up that way, and that's where their interest started. But again, you're paying a lot of money to go in here, and people are like somewhat expecting some sort of result, and are they getting it, and was it actually the result that they thought it was at that,
which is a huge problem if you ask me.
It is basically, is it like, okay, I'm going to pay you $800 and I want you to come out there and tell me ghost stories? Like, is that what it is going to be?
Right. Well, that was in the early days of the expedition.
Yeah, the price has gone down.
Now we're into the modern. Now we're into the modern day expeditions, and I guess really, I mean, the BFRO still does some, but I don't really see a whole lot of advertisement for it. I really don't see a whole lot of.
They've got 2014 all booked and planned out.
I'm sure they do, but wow, I wonder where they're getting the clientele for that. Anyhow, you take like the Olympic Project. Now, the Olympic Project does, what is it, 2 or 3 expeditions across the summer. Every 3 or 4 months they toss together an expedition to go out there, and basically they are Bigfoot boot camp. I mean, if you want to learn how to Bigfoot, The Olympic Project's probably a really good place to go and do that and hang out with Derek Randalls and meet Dr. Meldrum and go and hang out there with Crazy Hair Guy from the friggin' Ancient Alien Show, and learn how to track cast and learn what they're doing to track these animals and learn how to set up game cameras and learn how to conduct night operations. But when you've got a group, of 15 or 20 people out in the woods, and most of them not being woodsmen, most of them not really being Bigfoot trackers, most of them not really knowing what they're doing, your results are kind of going to be faltered from the beginning, are they not?
Well, and so they always put the caveat, on the ridgewalkers that there may be, because there's Bigfoot activity here, maybe we'll see something, but really that is kind of like you said, it's a Bigfoot boot camp. Like they're expecting to go. What you should be expecting is to go and to learn how to cast a track, learn about the area, meet people. They have presenters. They're going to do presentations, and then they'll take you on a bunch of hikes, and for me, like the cost on that is still prohibitive. Because
it's not Bigfooting. I mean, really, in my big book, it's a fantasy Bigfoot boot camp in an area that might contain Bigfoot. I mean, you wouldn't go deep sea diving in a place where they don't have deep seas. So going to a Bigfoot fantasy camp, like baseball fantasy camp, would be kind of, not conducive to being in a place that doesn't have Bigfoot. So having a Bigfoot fantasy camp in the desert's probably a bad idea. But to me, that's what they're seeming like they've got set up now. They've got this lodge set up in the Olympic Forest right on the edge of the national park there, and they're going to teach you how to Bigfoot. And, is the cost really worth it? For somebody starting out, maybe. Matt, your thoughts?
Are you sure?
Sure, I want to hear it, man. Tell me.
My thoughts are this. It is very beneficial to the people hosting it. If a person chooses to spend their hard-earned money to go on one of these things, that is on them. It's fair. If they're okay with the price, that's fine. Me personally, why should I pay to have certain individuals teach me stuff when they have no proof that they are an authority on the subject? I mean, I'm not going to pay multiple hundreds of dollars to go learn how to cast a track whenever it's not even a forensic specialist teaching me how to cast the track, whether it's Bigfoot or not. I'm not going to pay somebody to tell me what Bigfoot sign to look for whenever we don't know what sign Bigfoot actually leaves. We have theories. We have speculation. So what is it that they're actually teaching the person? I mean, if I pay for a class, at least that person is accredited and has the credentials to teach me that class. Most of these people on the outings don't.
And that's being assured by the people collecting the money. I mean, in a schooling situation where a professor is hired to teach you a class and you're paying to take that class, you're under the assumption that the people that you're paying that money to are assuming the responsibility of making sure the person teaching the class is actually qualified to do so.
Correct.
And for me, I mean, it's expensive no matter what you do, people. It's not cheap to go out and go Bigfooting. You immerse yourself deep in the woods with no electricity, no running water, no available services. You've got to pack in or have the gear available to survive out there for the amount of time that you're out there. And that stuff's, A, not cheap, and B, even there, the fuel costs, food costs, and, just setting up light camp for 3 days to a week is going to cost you $500 to $1,000 out of pocket as it is. To then turn around and add in another $400 to $800 expedition cost is kind of disheartening to me. I mean,
if you're willing to spend that kind of money, then obviously the interest is pretty strong. So why not, seek out some Bigfooters in your area, start talking to them, and say, hey, can I go out with you sometime? I mean, most Bigfooters know how to cast a track. You're going to learn this stuff. I never had to pay anybody anything that they taught me in the Bigfoot world. I've never had to pay to go on an outing, regardless of how big it was. And we used to host big public outings, And we didn't charge anybody. As a matter of fact, we told them if you can't afford it, we'll chip in and help you get here. You know,
Because
we'll
we want the
provide food
resource
for you.
help. That's exactly what I was thinking was, how is it that you're expecting your resources that are willing to come out and volunteer their time to help you in your effort on your Bigfoot hunt or your Bigfoot investigation and demand money upon them just to allow them to join in to help you with their resources?
Well, that's also a double-edged sword, because if you get more than 5 or 6 people, you're not going to get any results. You're not going to have a Bigfoot come around.
Well, that's not what
You
those
can't go out
Bigfoot
there with a
expeditions are looking
20-person
for, are they?
circus.
I completely agree, but that's what the Olympic project's doing, is it not?
It appears so.
I mean,
And I
from the
don't want
pictures
to
that we saw
detract
from the last one,
anything away from the people involved.
neither do I.
The people involved are good, and this stuff does, like you said, just to go out on a Bigfoot expedition, it costs money. And to try to reciprocate a bit of the money that you spend, there's nothing wrong with that. And if people are willing to spend the money, that's on them.
I guess.
I just think it's a stupid idea.
Yeah, I'm not expecting anybody to pay for my Bigfooting.
Well, so it goes back out to, what do you expect? What are they promising? They're not promising that you're going to see a Bigfoot out there. They're promising that you're going to have the experience of of a teaching experience. But I guess what we're all kind of in agreement on is, what are they teaching you for the money that you're putting in? I say go to the conference, go to the local get-togethers, talk to the people that are around you in your area, and become friends. Have back and forths, and just make sure that you're all, if something happens, you're all going to know about it. Create a network. And that's the only reason I could see going on a public expedition, is to meet more people. And maybe that's a way of meeting more serious people if you have resources to just throw out there like that. I mean, it would be like one step above the conference. But I think what you're going to see also is a lot of people with extra money that are those eccentric personalities that just want to go on a Bigfoot trip so that they can hear Bump in the night.
And but what I'm saying though is, when we come down to that, let's make it what it is. I don't have a problem with the public expeditions whatsoever, but let's, like you say, let's be fair and upfront with the level of expectations of what you are. If you're going to be a Bigfoot boot camp and you're going to put out presenters and presentations and buoys and videos and evidence reveals and how to make track casts and what to look for in Bigfoot activity, wonderful.
So you're going to have a conference.
Right, you're going to have a Bigfoot boot camp. You're not going to have a Bigfoot expedition, because they're really two totally different things. I wouldn't even mind hosting Bigfoot trips into the Sierras, to teach people what they're talking about out there. But I'm not looking to pay, to get paid for it. If you want to pay a guide, like Justin. If Justin wanted to host trips as a guide into the Sierras, into Bigfoot locations where they've actually had activity, there's an actual benefit that goes along with that fee. You're paying a woodsman and a guide who's experienced in the area to take you to locations where they've had Bigfoot activity. That's one thing. But to be part of an expedition, just to be brought onto the crew to bring your resources to the table and then ask you to pay $4, $5, $6, sometimes $800,000 is kind of tough to stomach.
And your time, I will say this, your time and your knowledge are worth something to someone that doesn't have it. I mean, you had to learn how to cast a track yourself. So if somebody wants to be taught that, okay, that's fine. But whenever you start going into the realm of, $300-$400 a person, that just seems ridiculous to me. I mean, you couldn't get by with charging $25 a person? Wouldn't that be enough money that's worth your time? And everybody's doing it, though. I mean, even Stacy Brown, the winner of Bigfoot Bounty, he's charging $500 a person to go out with him and his group.
And I'm not seeing the value in that any differently than I see the value in a BFRO expedition. And I would tell Stacy that to his face. Y'all know that. I don't say anything behind people's backs, especially here in a public forum on my show, that I wouldn't say directly to them. I just don't see the value in a $500 a person expedition for you to use the resources like he's doing. Now, what he's also doing, to be fair, is he's also providing resources. He's also providing services like they're doing at the Olympic Project, to where he's giving track casting lessons and he's giving animal tracking lessons there in the Florida swamps. And the dude's good at it. I mean, he's proven the fact that he can track down animals that are in there. So there are certain things that are going along with that, but I don't know that there's a $500 worth of value there.
Right.
I'll just say right now, I will take anybody out into the woods and we can go wander around for $500. Do you want to give me $500? I'll take you out into the woods. We'll wander around.
You know, I'll take your whole group out for $500. If you want to pay the transportation up to the Bigfoot location and the food, I'll hang out with you for free with the whole group. Even bring a laptop and show you the Patterson film in the wild if you want. I'll work it out with Ro. We'll show a copy of Dead Bigfoot out there for you. But yeah, I just don't understand the need to fortify your own pocket per se with the popularity that is Bigfoot at the moment.
Well, it's the American way. It's the capitalist society.
That's right.
We're cashing in on what's hot. You know, like, I mean, that's and that's not going to be that way forever. I mean, you know,
that's a fact.
3 to 5 more years, and it's just going to be the three of us sitting here doing this broadcast, nobody watching, because it's not going to be so interesting.
It's okay, because we'll still be here.
Yeah,
and we'll still be talking to ourselves, because our research will still be going on. Unless somebody friggin' pops one and brings it into the NBC broadcast studio, bleeding and lays it out on the news channel floor while the 11 o'clock news is going on, then we can stop looking and start answering other questions. But people are going to be turning to us then and going, okay, you were right all these years. Now we're interested in all that data you have.
And we're going to have to say, no, don't listen to the UFO guys. Don't.
Yeah. Now we're interested in all those wood-knocking audio clips that you have. Now we're kind of interested in all that interesting audio that you're catching from these strange locations. You know, now we're interested in the sightings reports that are out there. I just noticed the other day was Cliff posted a copy of John Bindernagel's website that has his sightings database that's downloadable. And I happened to grab a copy of that the other day while it was out there in CSV form. And I must tell you, it's huge. It's a whole 6 kilobytes.
I have been noticing a lot of Bigfoot books becoming available for digital download over the past couple of weeks.
This isn't a book now. This is his sightings database.
Oh, the entire database.
Yes, this is his sightings database that's available here, and it's available in CSV form, and it's
that John huge. I knew something else was coming. John Bindernagel or John Green?
John Green. Sorry. Oh
Yeah.
No. Bindernagel, the Canadian.
Yeah.
John Green.
That doesn't help you, huh?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, here it says John Green. There you go.
Yeah, because that's this huge piece of data that I knew was going to be published soon.
Yeah, the creature, the footprint, the incident, the witness, they are all available here. The incident report is 2.7 megabytes in size, and that's huge for a CSV file.
Text on the screen.
Yeah, that is just a gigantic file that my computer is actually rendering at the moment while we're doing this live broadcast, which is probably not a good idea. But hey, whatever, live and learn. So it is out there. If you check cliffbarackman.com, you can find a link to that out there. So
I'll be doing that because I know he did a ton of work in the areas that I'm looking in, and whether or not because the BFRO is really sparse up here because there weren't a lot of members. But
here's a copy of it. This is what the CSV database actually looks like, and you know it really does. It tells you dates, times. You know, it's got a whole lot of information in here, all the way back into the 50s and 60s, and stuff that I'm glad has been archived so that we can actually look into that hasn't been lost.
You know what? I would like to take the opportunity on your show to mention something that I haven't told anybody.
Well, there we go. Special announcement, people. Listen up.
Special announcement. Bobby Short's nephew, I believe it is, was always in charge of her website. And I recently contacted him, and he's still working on trying to get her book finished and released. And he said the website will be up as long as he can keep it up. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So the website Bigfoot Encounters is going to be there for a long time, apparently, but it's a wealth of information. And people should be snagging it while they still can.
Get up there, take snapshots, copy the text, do whatever you got to do. Don't let that data go lost, because that's horrible when we lose things. And speaking of special announcements and things we haven't talked about before, Matt, it's time, buddy. Tell us all about your new project with Bigfoot Revolutions, my friend.
I love it, by the way. I just have to say that.
Revolution, the evolution of Bigfootery.
That's right.
Yeah, it's a project I've been wanting to do for a while now, and I finally got it started. It's just a little, run-of-the-mill Bigfoot podcast. Phil Poling, A Pair Breakdown, is currently my co-host. I actually plan on rotating people out, just depending on who I want to work with and talk about things and who wants on. And basically, right now we've been kind of focusing on things that I consider sort of the bullshit of the Bigfoot world, just trying to provide a logical, common sense, scientific, skeptical approach towards such claims as interspecies communication, cloaking Bigfoot, Bigfoot telepathy, things that people shouldn't even be paying attention to, but are.
Yeah, there's a whole subculture of it.
Right, and it's just mind-blowing.
We haven't even answered the question, do squatch crap in the woods yet, and they're worried about whether they can cloak.
Right. And from there, I kind of want to start focusing on the people that are actually doing things in the Bigfoot world and kind of pushing it forward and getting off the old practices and just the accepted half-truths because somebody said so 20 years ago.
I agree.
Like Bigfoot eye shine-ish. What?
Yes, eye shine is going to be coming up. Bigfoot talking, as far as a language and communication is concerned, is going to be coming up. We've got a whole list of topics, so we'll be going for a while.
Your podcast is aimed more towards the family orientation, for more of the PG-13 type of people. Oh, well, Matt's having a little bit of technical difficulties at the moment. We'll come back to him. Okay. Well.
All right, we're back.
There we go.
It's more PG-13-ish.
Okay. I wanted people to have a heads up out there. We have more of a PG show here. The 14 slip is more of a rated R type of show. I just wanted people to be informed that, don't sit around with your 8-year-old because the F word, the F bomb might get dropped from time to time.
Right. It's kind of like on Bigfoot Revolution, we sit around in our boxer shorts and T-shirts, and 14 slip, we just run around naked.
There you go. There you go. Full on dong in the 40 and slip. You heard it here live on the Squatchers Lounge podcast. You're also the assistant, the main editor, the head editor of BigfootEvidence.blogspot.com these days. Is that correct?
Grunt whipping boy, slave number one.
There you go.
Number one. I like that.
A number one, Sean, secret Asian man, bitch boy.
Yeah, Sean really cracks the whip over there.
Hey, man, you got to keep up on the list because you got to keep it current. That's what makes it BigfootEvidence.blogspot.com.
There's many people that hate Sean and hate Bigfoot Evidence. I knew that I had to be a part of it.
There you go.
And so I am, and I'm posting articles daily.
Everybody's favorite guy to hate. And then you've got BigfootCrossroads.com. Is that correct?
That is correct. My own personal blog where I get to say things on there that I don't get to say on Bigfoot Evidence.
Which is kind of crazy because you actually see a great big window into the mind that is crazy Matt Knapp. I've looked into it. I got news for you. Be prepared to have lots of Xanax and your doctor on speed dial. You really don't want to see into that window. It's not being John Malkovich, I promise you. So, Matt, what do you got coming up here soon, buddy?
Oh, geez, more Bigfoot Revolution. Working on a couple projects that I can't actually talk about yet.
Shh, secret project stuff.
Super secret projects.
Secrets.
Just more of this, I want to do more of the podcasting thing, be on more shows, and start talking more.
That's it, you know. Matt been hiding in the shadows, typing away with his angry little bare ball, writing letters to the government about how they don't need to worry about protecting Bigfoot. They need to get rid of the assholes in Bigfoot instead. That's our buddy Matt.
Project Jackalope.
Project Jackalope. That's right. So tell us, David, are you ever going to get off your ass and go back into squatching, or has that baby just got you by the short and curlies?
It's been a busy time. I got some plans. I got some time off that I actually have to burn in the near future, so I'm hoping to get up there in that time. Of course, you know, was going to come up with a plan to burn some vacation that I have to burn before it rolls over, and then other stuff comes up. Yeah, that's going to get extended. Blah. I just need to get out there and do some walking around and yeah, be not at work.
For sure. Well, there you go, people. That's actually going to do it for us this week. Remember, next week we will not be on Wednesday night. We will be on Friday night at 7 p.m. after I get back from my expedition. Maybe I'll have some footage. Maybe I won't. I'm going to have a hell of a time out there with Justin Smeha, the Bigfoot killer, though. That I can guarantee you. And you people don't have to like it.
You better have some footage of something, even if it's just Justin like blowing a snot rocket. Actually,
I will definitely
I
have
went
some...
squatching with Justin for 3 days, and this is all I have.
That's right. I went squatching with Justin Smeha, and this is all I got was a snot rocket. No, actually, we're going to do some summertime or some springtime bass fishing while we're up there, too. So we're going to hit some of the farm ponds and see if we can't stir up some Bigfoot that way. So thanks for joining us for us tonight, guys. It has been a pleasure. I am the Reverend Jeff Kelly. This has been the Squatchers Islands Podcast, Season 2, Episode 19. May the Squatch be with you.